The Sea of Okhotsk is at the same latitude as the Gulf of Alaska. But unlike the Gulf, the sea freezes between October and March. It's located between Russia's peninsula on the east and the Kuril Islands on the southeast, Japan's island of Hokkaido on the south. The Sea of Okhotsk is one of the world's richest in biological resources, with various kinds of fish, shellfish, and crabs. At 611,000 square miles, that's 1.58 million square kilometers, the sea is considered one of the richest north temperate marine ecosystems in the entire world. It's home to an abundance of fish, birds, and marine mammal life, known as a bird lover's paradise. The Okhotsk Sea's shore serves as a haven for large colonies of common and thick-billed murres, tuft puffins, and Steller sea eagle, the world's largest raptor. The Steller sea eagle, the world's largest raptor, lives along the Sea of Okhotsk. Only about 7,500 of these eagles remain in the entire world, and they can only be found right here. The islands and continental shores surrounding the sea are filled with salmon-rich rivers, beaches lined with fur seals and sea otters, and land roamed by brown bears, wolves, bighorn sheep, and Arctic fox. In winter, navigation on the sea is extremely difficult, if not impossible, due to the formation of large ice floes. During the summer, the sea surface temperature rises to 54 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 12 degrees Celsius, while its waters are warmed to a depth of 165 feet or 50 meters. Ice cover begins to appear at the end of October, and it reaches its greatest extent in March and typically is gone by June. The Sea of Okhotsk was a hotbed for 19th century whaling ships from the United States. Ships would sail from Massachusetts around the tip of South America to the sea, where they would capture whales before returning to the eastern United States. It took 3 years. 3 whole years, and it was always undertaken in many hopes of procuring the revenue associated with the enormous value given to the oil found in the whale blubber. The Peanut Hole was an area of open ocean at the center of the Sea of Okhotsk, about 55 kilometers or 35 miles wide, and 480 kilometers, 300 miles long. Since the Peanut Hole was not the Russian economic zone, any country could fish there, and some began doing so in large numbers. In 1991, 1 million metric tons of pollock taken out of the sea. For fear of overfishing, in November 2013, a United Nations subcommittee accepted Russia's plea to limit access to the Peanut Hole and make the area part of the continental shelf of the Russian Federation. During the Cold War, the Sea of Okhotsk was the scene of several successful U.S. Navy operations focused on tapping Soviet Navy undersea communication cables. These operations were documented in the book Blind Man's Bluff, the untold story of American submarine espionage. The sea was also the location of the Soviet attack of Korean Air Flight 007 in 1983. 29 zones of possible oil and gas accumulation have been identified on the Sea of Okhotsk, and it's estimated there could be 3.5 billion tons of fuel here, including 1.2 billion tons of oil and 1.5 billion cubic meters of gas. While Japan has several notable Okhotsk Sea ports on its island of Hokkaido, there is no traditional name in the Japanese language for this sea. The sub-prefecture, the part of Hokkaido which faces the sea, is often called the Okhotsk region. These are interesting things with JC.